The year is 1995. Sid Murray begins researching the possibility of using canines for the purpose of detecting abandoned landmines. Looking at different programs from around the world, Sid incorporated the best of what he observed, along with 40-plus years of accumulated knowledge and experience, and began developing a new and unique plan for utilizing dogs to detect these dangerous landmines. Our story begins in January of '99, when he was approached by a Canadian company to help in the deployment of a canine program that would best assist with demining efforts in war-torn countries like Bosnia and Herzegovina. This high-profile company had been working and collaborating with the Canadian International Development Agency, or CIDA, to identify ways in which Canadian expertise could be applied to the landmine problem in these countries. These organizations needed no convincing as to the effectiveness of using dogs as a demining tool. Although it was clear that no single method or technology offered the best results in all circumstances, the establishment of a program to supply and train German Shepherd dogs with Bosnian handlers to detect landmines was the best course to follow. In May of '99, the first step was taken towards implementing this new initiative. Mr. Murray traveled to Bosnia to experience firsthand many of the mine action programs being carried out there. He visited programs run by NGOs, commercial demining organizations, international military specialists, and the UN. Observing their canine operations and different training and housing facilities, it helped him to design a training and handling method that would be both efficient and well-suited for indigenous handlers. Sid decided that a small town called Bihać, located in the northwest region of Bosnia, was an ideal site. Once a deal was made with the local landowners to lease the land, Sid directed a crew of local people in the construction of kennels and facilities capable of housing 15 dogs. These kennels were designed to be taken apart and moved if necessary. While waiting for the dogs to arrive from Canada, Sid continued with the process of interviewing over 50 prospective handlers from several Bosnian demining organizations. Local people were also interviewed for positions as interpreters. After careful consideration, 12 handlers and 2 interpreters were chosen for the trainee program. At the end of June, Ron Mustafa, also a trainer from Canada, arrived with the dogs. After a period of acclimatizing to their new environment, the dogs were ready to be paired with the handlers and begin their training. Initially, the handlers were allowed to select the dog they felt the most comfortable with. However, after a bonding period, which consisted of walking and playing with the dog and showing praise and affection, some adjustments were made to the pairings based on observations made by Sid and Ron. We were now ready to begin the next phase of the training process. It soon became obvious that the program we had embarked upon presented a series of particular challenges. In addition to the usual dog training challenges, discipline, hard work, perseverance, and repetitive practices, often in difficult conditions, we had to find ways around the natural, cultural, and language barriers that existed between Canadian instructors and Bosnian trainees. Tried and tested instructional methods that Sid and Ron used in their own experiences had to be adapted on a day-to-day basis to achieve the desired results. A high degree of flexibility and understanding had to be shown by both instructors and trainees. This need for mutual understanding actually was a blessing in disguise. The resulting bonds and mutual respect created among all concerned was truly amazing. The first step in training was to teach the dog to associate the smell of the explosives used inside the landmines, products such as TNT, with a toy they love to play with. In the dog's mind, every time he senses the odor of the explosives, he thinks he's actually found his toy, and thus it's playtime. Mine detection dogs are trained in the passive method of indicating. Instead of scratching or digging at an object, the dog is simply taught to sit and look at the area in which he has detected the odor of an explosive. The handler and dog teams spent approximately 8 weeks, from early July to late August, training on 40 testing lanes measuring 10 meters by 1 meters. Training was initially done adjacent to the kennel facilities before moving to much larger and more intricate training and testing grounds, located 15 minutes outside of town at an abandoned airstrip. Built on a plateau in a mountain range which divides Bosnia from Croatia, this airstrip site at the time was considered one of the largest and best training and testing facilities for mine detection dogs. Here, the dogs were trained on the detection of actual mines buried in the ground, just as if planted during the war. The only difference being that the training mines have been defused. This provides the most realistic simulation of minefield conditions possible. Once certified by UNIMAC, the teams are awarded their accreditations to begin working in the field. However, the process does not stop there. A maintenance program of refresher training and conditioning for both dogs and handlers, as well as on-site monitoring, is a prerequisite for maintaining a high level of performance. The combination of the dog's acute sense of smell and his handler's ability to read and interpret the dog's movements and signals forms a unique partnership. This partnership of man and dog will do much to ultimately eradicate the scourge of landmines still buried. Sid was called upon by a major Canadian firm from Ottawa to assist with the demining efforts in Kosovo in a program again funded by CETA. The task at hand required that Sid take a team of dogs and a handler trainee to Kosovo and prepare both dogs and handler for the UN accreditation test, just 7 weeks away. To the amazement of the UNIMAC testers, both dogs and handlers passed the required accreditation on their first attempt. This had not been accomplished before by any other group working in Kosovo at the time. Mr. Murray now has 4 fully trained dogs and handlers fully capable of being integrated into any demining effort globally. Sid's knowledge and experience has served to establish Mr. Murray as a leader in canine landmine detection. His career has spanned over 40 years working with dogs in the fields of drug, arson, explosive, and now landmine detection. Our dogs can and will complement your demining efforts.